Welcome to my home studio. It's Becky here. I've come to the mat to share a nice short sequence with you today. It's all going to be nice and low down to the ground. It might be something nice that you would like to do first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed, just to stretch and open up a few areas of the body. Let's begin today on your back body, coming all the way down to the ground. Feel the earth below you. And just allow yourself to breathe for a few moments. Start your practice nice and slow. Just giving yourself the opportunity to notice what is happening on the inside today, as well as the outside. Allow any big exhales to come right out of the mouth, pour out into the room. Inviting a little bit of movement back into the body. Place the soles of the feet onto the ground. Create a little cactus-shaped ground through the shoulders and just knock your knees from side to side. Beginning to loosen up the low back. Bring a little bit of flow and movement into the body. Let's bring the knees back up through center. Cross your right knee on top of the left. Flex at the toes and send your knee away. This might be where you'd like to stay, just using the strength of your own leg to open up a little bit deeper. Or perhaps you lift the foot off the ground. Once again, this is a very strengthening position right here. You might decide to thread the hands behind the knee, but try not to round and curl up through the spine. Strive to keep both shoulders relaxed and in place on the ground. Gently, let's lower that foot back down. Hello, Gilly. And we're going to come into a little bit of a hip twist here. Drop the whole set of your legs over to the left-hand side. We're trying to get the right foot to the ground. It might not come all the way down today, and that's okay as well. If you can get the foot onto the ground, set your knee back upright. You might even hold on to that ankle nice and close to you. So where I'm feeling an opening in my body, the outer right hip here. Let's come back up through center, back to our figure four shape. And now take hold of the outer right foot with your right hand, coming into a half happy baby. I'm just going to allow my left knee to fall out to the side. Looks somewhat like Supta Baddha Konasana, or half of it at least. And my right foot I'm focusing on pulling the foot down as much as I can to find widening through the hip. Let's gently release all of that. Wipe it all out with a couple drops of the knees from side to side. Let's rise up to head over to the other side. Left ankle crosses over, dorsiflex at the foot. Send the knee away, decide where you'd like to stay. Perhaps it's grounded, finding that opening, or deepening by lifting the foot and keeping those shoulders nice and grounded. And gently release. Once again, now the whole set of your architecture of your legs is going to move together over to the right side. See if you can get that left foot onto the ground and knee peels up towards the sky. Stay grounded through the shoulders. Perhaps you reach for that left ankle with your right hand. Take a few deep breaths into the sticky bits. And gently release. Let's bring everything back upright. Reach for the outer left foot. Take hold for your half happy baby. Nice big half squat in the left side. Right side is just doing what gravity would like it to do. And let's release. Come back to a couple windshield wipe-like motions. All right, slowing this down. Now let's bring the right knee into your chest. I'm going to choose to keep my left heel long onto the mat, and bring your right knee rather close to you, your right thigh, I should say. Give yourself a little squeeze, bring a bit of compression into the hip. You might bring a little bit of movement, wiggling it from side to side. And now begin switching the grip so the fingers lace up behind the leg, kick up through the heel as much as you can, and press the back of your thigh into the outer limits of your hands. So you're pressing that away, trying to find lots of length into the hamstrings here. So kick up through the heel even more. The leg doesn't have to be straight, but imagine it trying to get a little bit straighter. Send your breath into the areas that feel the tightest. All right, we're going to leave our legs where they are, but remove the hands. So find a little lift in the low belly to help support you. And very slowly, for the count of 5, we'll lower that leg down to meet its partner. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take a moment, just notice any differences in the left and right side. And head over to the other side. Left knee draws in. Give yourself a little squeeze. Find that area that feels best for it to lie on top of your body. So it might be a little out to the side, might be right over the hip. You can wiggle from side to side to investigate. Begin lacing the fingertips up behind the thigh and extend through the heel. Any amount, but really trying to wake up the hamstrings. Press the thigh forwards into the boundaries of your hands. See if you can send your breath, direct it right towards where you're feeling that tightness. Let your breath be an ally here. All right, finding that power in the low belly, a little bit of a lift as you remove the hands from the leg, and we'll slowly lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring both knees into your chest, wrap your arms around, give yourself a hug. And we can rock and roll our way up to a seat. Find a comfortable seated position. You might want to be on a prop, on your shins or cross-legged. Sit nice and tall through the spine. And we'll give ourselves a little twist here. So bring your right hand to the left knee. Other fingertips can go behind you. Grow tall through the spine and a little look around the shoulder. Come back through center. Everything goes the opposite way. And back through center. Give yourself a hug, right arm on top of left. Walk your fingertips rather close to one another. And draw your chin to chest. So a lot of roundness in the upper back. A lot of space between the shoulder blades. As you breathe in that space, see if you can feel the area between your shoulder blades expanding and contracting back. So open your arms rather wide, clasp the hands behind the back, lace the fingers up, draw the shoulder blades together and lift through the heart. This time, focus on the area in the chest where you feel the expansion of the breath. And release. Arms come wide. Left arm on top of right this time. Walk the hands closer together. Chin drops down. Few breaths for yourself. Reach your fingertips nice and wide. Lace up your hands the opposite way, your non-dominant way. Pull the hands down the back to lift the heart. And gently release. Let's come forwards. Find a tabletop position. And we're going to work through a little bit of cat and cow here. Let's also make sure we incorporate waking up the hands. So for the first few rounds, I'm going to choose to tense my fingers, really waking up the finger pads, all of the palms. Inhale, send the heart forwards as your tailbone rises, belly drops. Exhale, press through the finger pads and round the spine. Follow that pattern forwards, lifting through the heart. And exhale, finding this really round shape. I'm going to come all the way back down to my palms, continue with a few more cat and cows from here, and perhaps even let your eyes close. You can add in some more movement, so maybe wagging into the tail, lengthening through one side, shortening the other. Doing some barrel rolls with the rib cage. Find any of those natural wiggles, any of those areas you might want to work into today. Just bring a little movement into them. Come back through stillness in the center. Let's inhale, kick your right heel behind you. You might stay here today, or perhaps you float the left arm as well, opposite hand to leg. Let's pause here for 3 breaths. Just really focus on all those little stabilizer muscles, trying to keep you in balance as you float up some of your supports. All right, let's flow 3 times. Inhale, reach far with the fingertips, back with the heel. As you exhale, draw the 2 together, find that cat back, that round back. Inhale, reach forwards, kick back. Exhale, draw the 2 together. 1 more, inhale. And exhale. Let's hold in this round shape now. Trying to get the knee and elbow as close together as you can. Press up through that rounded back. And we'll release, hand, knee, meet the ground. Switching sides. Float the left heel back behind you. Consider lifting the right arm as well. And find this length for a couple breaths in stillness. All the little quivers into the body, making you a little bit stronger. And as you exhale, bring the elbow and knee together. 2 to go. Inhale, get nice and long. Exhale, pull it in together. Inhale, reach forwards, kick back. Exhale, pull it together. Try to keep the knee and elbow as close together as they can. Couple breaths into the back body in this rounded shape. And gently release back to table. Let's tuck the toes underneath. Hover the knees just off the mat. This is bear pose. Imagine you've got magnets from your knees to the palms of the hand, and they're pulling together. Makes it a lot harder if you start pulling. And let's bring the knees back to the ground. Come into a child's pose. I'm going to choose to have my knees rather wide, arms ahead. Feel free to express this any which way you like, and try to get your forehead as close to the ground as you can. Come back up to tabletop, and we're going to come into puppy pose, or also heart chakra pose, Anahata Anasana. All right, to find this, your hips stay rather over the knees, and walk your hands forward as much as they'll go. You can begin by placing the forehead to the ground, just a little bit kinder on the neck. Imagine that your heart is melting down towards the ground. And if it feels safe for your spine, you might even bring the chin to the ground to allow the heart to deepen a little bit closer down. Slowly, wherever you are, inchworm your way back up to table. Let's tuck those toes back under. Hover in your bear pose for a moment. Pull the knees towards the hands, hands towards knees. And we'll rise to a downward facing dog. Allow yourself to pedal out here through the legs, sway the hips. Get into the calf a little bit. Widen your feet as wide as the mat. Toes might be pointing out slightly. We'll walk your hands back towards the toes. Bring a bend into your knees. We're coming into Malasana, our squat here. If you're able to, bring the palms towards heart center. Press the knees away with the elbows and press the elbows back towards the knees. Try to find a little lift into the heart. There's a lot of ways to make this pose right for you. So if you notice that your heels are peeling up, you can roll the back of your mat. Just tuck it underneath the heels so you have something to press down into. Or if you feel like you're toppling over, you can always just take a hold of the side of each of your mat. You're always more than welcome to sit on a block as well. And from here, we're going to lower down to your seat. So I'm just going to place my hands behind, lower down. Good. Let's come to Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together. Begin by bringing your fingertips behind you, grow nice and tall through the spine. Take that length with you as you bring the hands forward. You might wander your fingertips as far ahead as they'll go. Some people prefer to hold onto their feet. Sending your breath into the hips, seeing if they'll release a little bit more. Let's come on back upright and come into another forward fold. I'm going to choose Uttanasana Konasana today. So that's the wide-legged forward fold. Make sure that you have both sit bones onto the ground. Flex at the toes so that the toes point up. Really active through the thighs. Lift through the kneecap. You might stay upright with your fingertips behind you, striving to find all of that there. Or perhaps the hands come forward and you can walk the fingertips as far as they'll go. Try to keep a lot of length into the spine as you do this. Let's rise on back up. Realign yourself so you're facing your right side leg. And now walk your hands on either side of that extended leg, just bringing a little bit of a different stretch into the leg. As you're here, you might be able to admire your toes. They might not have seen a salon in quite a while. I've decided to put lots of sparkle on mine to counteract that. Try to send your heart forwards as much as you can. Come on back upright. Realign yourself so you're facing the left leg now. And once again, your heart reaches forwards towards those non-pedicured toes. Let's lift back up through center. Glue the legs together. We'll find a little bit of power here. Bring the fingertips behind you, facing towards you. Point the toes. We're coming up into reverse plank. You can also do this with the soles of the feet on the ground. So which would be a reverse tabletop. Find all the might in your body. Draw the shoulder blades together. Press through the hands. Perhaps if the knees are bent, press through the feet as well. Lift through the heart. Look up at the ceiling. If it feels safe to you, you might drop the head back. You can always continue to look forwards. And bring it on back down. Keep the toes close to the top of the mat. Offer something forward for your best friend. And very slowly roll to your back body. All right. Walk your feet a little closer to you. We're going to come into a full happy baby this time. So both sets of feet go up towards the air. Reach your hands between the legs, and then they try to wrap around for the outer feet. If it's only your ankles or shins you can hold on to today, that's fantastic as well. Try to find that opening, that malasana sort of shape on your back body, and a lot more roundness in the spine. You might even kick through one heel at a time, finding a little bit of play there, getting into the wiggles, into all the areas that are needing a little bit more opening. From here, we'll bring the soles of the feet to touch and drop the feet down to the ground with control so the outer edges touch down. You're in a cobbler shape on your back, known as Supta Baddha Konasana. Let's bring one hand to the belly, one to the heart. Let go of any controlled breathing you may have been holding on to, and let yourself be right here. If you feel over a little bit of time, a little bit of too deep opening happening in the hips, a couple options would be to create some fists and just slide them right under the thighs for support, or you could put blocks under there as well. You can stay in this shape for the rest of your Shavasana, or if you'd like to find that more traditional pose, bring the hands to the backs of the thighs, draw the knees together, and begin extending your heels long onto the mat. Surrendering down back to your breath in a moment of stillness to seal the practice. Begin inviting a deeper breath back into the body. And start to bring some wiggles into the fingers and toes. Let that ripple through the body, growing these movements a little bit larger. Eventually reaching your fingertips overhead and toes away from you, stretching from limb to limb. Take a moment, roll over to your side body, and pressing up to a seat. Let's draw your hands into heart center. Take a moment to dedicate your practice to someone you love. There's a lot of people in need right now, and it's always a lovely opportunity to send some positive and good energy to them. Thank you for being present with yourself and moving and breathing with me today. Namaste.